So a couple of recent card developments may have led to some broken interactions. Now make sure you guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more. I was going to leave it to my go Loveless to be cooking up some interesting ideas. Now this is going to be a 2-card combo, and I gotta tell you, White Forest is one of the few engines I feel like in this game that can progressively build up and do some kind of stupid things. So what we're going to be seeing here is going to be the start of standard White Forest combo. If you open up Toy Box and so forth, you bring out the 2 monsters that can be special summoned when sent from the spell and trap card zone. So we're going to start out with the Stellar, sending the Soldier to bring out our first piece, stack up our effects here to get the Revive up, which will get the Search. Alright, so from here, Toy Soldier will go ahead and add up another friend from the deck. Now we can go ahead and synchro into Resililia, which this is pretty standard at this point. You've got the extender you've searched. Go ahead and trigger our effects, get the revive, get the set back to the field here. We'll go ahead and trigger our search for this. Alright, so once again, standard White Forest. Go ahead and synchro. Now this is where things begin to deviate. This is the Glitch Clutch Nullgainer. Now, when this first card came out, a lot of people, I think, looked at this and was like, huh? On Synchro Summon, you can add a level 8 or higher monster with 0 attack from your deck to your hand. You can target one monster with 0 attack in a graveyard special summon but negate its effects. Also, it cannot be used as material for a Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or a Link summon. This card's entire purpose is to search for a monster with 0 attack from the deck, which is where you get to search for the new Candelato, the Beast of Light. Now, Candelato says it's always going to be treated as a Phantom Beast card. Now, it gains 1,000 attack and defense for each card in your hand. Now, you can only use each of the following effects of Kanato once per turn. So we can discard 2 other cards to special summon this card from your hand. Then you can add 1 card from your deck to your hand that has a coin tossing effect. And then when a card or effect is activated that includes an effect that adds a card or cards from the deck of the hand, you can quick effect negate that effect. So we're using Glitch Nullgainer here to search for the Candelato. Okay, so where do we kind of go from here? So we're going to go ahead and send our Toy Tank to special summon up our next friend. Go ahead and search for the Azamina version of the good card. We will special summon the tank, trigger the Azamina to special. Go ahead and make the Cross Sheep so we can go ahead and get a revive here in a second when we go into our favorite fusion. We'll go ahead and here comes Azamina, good stuff. So this is kind of where you're going to start searching through to get to the hollowed part of the deck to kind of get that set up going. Here comes the hollowed Azamina, going ahead, revealing Ilia Sylvia, special summon, go ahead and trigger Cross Sheep. Go ahead and special summon this. Now we can go ahead and make the new Hulk. This is become probably one of my other favorite interactions. Hulk 100% guarantees that you're going to get a tuner from the extra deck, which is where Luin comes in. Luin is going to allow us to cheat out another stupid, incredibly broken interaction here, which you'll see here. So we're going to go ahead and trigger up to just take a little lap. And then we're going to make Georgius. Georgius, your opponent can activate the effects of monsters in the graveyard. While this card is equipped with a Dragunity card, you can only use each of the following effects. So on Link Summon, or if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, we can special summon a level 5 or higher Dragunity monster from the deck or extra deck. Or excuse me, from the extra deck or graveyard. And your opponent activates a spell or trap card. We can send 1 equipped card to control the graveyard to negate that effect. So guess what? We'll see Georgius here to go ahead and special summon. And then Luin is going to go ahead and equip, because Luin has this great effect that says if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target Dragunity monster control, equip this card to that card. So you just get to go ahead and equip Luin literally onto your Georgius, and now we've got the lock set up with that. And then, of course, we do get into the Bread Hair here, which when your opponent activates a monster effect, banish the Dragunity monster from the graveyard, negate that activation, do banish that card. If this destroys the opponent's monster by battle, after damage calculation, you banish that opponent's monster, and if sync summon card and its owner's control is destroyed by a card effect, destroy all spell traps on the field. I mean, this is just going to be an extra body, honestly. It's a good card, but that's fine. So you do see Saruja. Okay, so you already saw one of the combo pieces being added to our hand. We'll go ahead and tuck it on back here. We'll go ahead and trigger up our revive here. Now we can go ahead and send the 2 to special summon up the Candelato here. Now Candelato will go ahead and add our coin tossing card, which is where we get to add Light Force to our hand. Yes, I know, it's so freaking great that we just get to add this. So we will go ahead and Light Force, go ahead and discard. This is where we get into Zawaldo now to go ahead and start doing our thing. Go ahead and pitch the Fool or the Fiend to search for field spell, deploy field spell. Go ahead, Saruja, special summon Zawaldo. Zawaldo, go ahead and trigger up our ability. Hit that end phase. And congratulations, you have gone ahead and you've gained the ability to take an extra turn. End phase, we get back our spell, and then we just go ahead and loop right on back into our next turn, and which will literally just win us the free game here because we have enough attack points to clear up the game. Isn't that just absolutely hilarious in terms of like interactions? Because I feel like most people were not going to be really expecting to, you know, see a level of interaction like this. It's one of those particular matchups that you're just like, oh, hey, you know, really, that you're just capable of doing this? And I mean, the answer is yes. Now, in terms of, you know, what this deck is kind of packing, this isn't going to be like the greatest profile in the world, but there's always somebody that's always going to be like, okay, you know, what are some of the tools and pieces you use? The deck does have access to the Mana DM reframing. This just, it kind of ensures that, you know, you can set up an end board piece and kind of go about things. Disregard True Light. This is like if you're playing Maiden stuff. Going with 1 light barrier, the Sinful Spoils. It's a very small package, but I do recommend that you do play the, you know, toy box is going to be mandatory as, you know, you need it for full combo. Candelato you can play as a one of. The rest of the White Forest package, you got to remember, you've got to have enough good cards to be able to have the White Forest package kind of flush itself out, which, I mean, you actually should be able to. Extra deck, I mean, like, this is it. You got a lot of cool extra little pieces in here that you can kind of access. But I mean, this is all just possible because Nullgainer just allows you to search. Like, this is definitely one of those notes that I would take as more people want to like explore these lists. And also, you know, Georgius and the Hulk, a lot of decks kind of going forward in the future. If you've got access to Hulk in general, just, I mean, you have to remember, to get access to the Hulk, it's 2 monsters including a tuner. Any generic tuner monster, in general, it doesn't matter if it's a synchro or what. Prism gives you access to Luin. Luin then gives you immediate access into Georgius. And your payoff for making Georgius is so insane. Like, I do recommend this. And also, you know, you got a bread hair on top of all of this, and on top of the board that you were pushing for here. You do get to do some incredibly powerful combo lines. I do recommend this. Now, obviously, we didn't get to see the Red Nova coming out. You didn't get to see, you know, the Quasi-Colt. But that's fine. I also kind of recommend, like, maybe if you want to sculpt this up a little bit more, depending on how you want to try to build this, you've got enough of the White Forest stuff to kind of consider, you know, messing around in terms of the deck build. You might want to kind of restructure that. I also do like having Vices in here, but this is also going to depend on, you know, how often am I going to be able to see how much of this White Forest combo to be able to do its thing. And also, you know, having the Azamina be a tuner monster, technically you could pivot into Halki Fiber X Prism just off of the same, or the hollowed Azamina chick as well. So you have different little ways to go about this. It's just take some refinement. So 2-card combos are always going to be interesting. Unfortunately, it just so happens that Toy Box just is not necessarily one of the better searchable cards that we can have access to, but that's fine. All right, we're here to showcase why Yu-Gi-Oh! Is such a fun and exciting game, and why seeing all of these different tools kind of exploding onto the scene is necessarily a good thing. So what do you guys think about this? Are you excited to see the potential of Nullgainer? Because This card was said to be absolutely terrible, and now that we have a purpose for it, oh boy! Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. Let's see your beautiful faces back here in day, guys. Patrons! Thank you! Ah!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.